Whenever the laws of any state are broken, a duly authorized organization swings into action. It may be called the state police, state troopers, militia, the rangers, or the highway patrol. These are the stories of the men whose training, skill, and courage have enforced and preserved our state laws. Like any law enforcement agency, the Highway Patrol encounters many unforeseen obstacles in apprehending the criminal who is at large and dangerous to a community and its citizens. Many times, it is the citizen himself who unwittingly aids the criminal in his flight from the law. Such was the case when, on October 7th, Irv Desmond, having been unsuccessful in his attempt at robbing a drugstore, killed a pharmacist. For 4 days, Desmond had eluded the patrol. Time and again, he had been tracked down. Time and again, he was able to avoid capture due to the unintentional help of a citizen. He had now been traced to the outskirts of the small farming community of Littleton, where Patrolman Norton had discovered the stolen car Desmond had abandoned.
Doesn't seem to be anything wrong with the car. Must have figured it was too well known.
Yeah, it's still warm. It's hard to figure this guy. Only thing we know is he doesn't like to travel alone. How big is the next town up ahead?
It only exists to service the farmers in this area.
We can check it out in no time.
There's a lot of open country around here. Get on the radio. Have them send 2 units out as soon as possible if they can spare them. That'll give us more men to flush Desmond out. Now, we're going into town. When we get there, I'll take the left side, you take the right.
Okay.
Norton, you get to the other side of the town and work in. Notify everybody you see what's going on. Give them a description of Desmond.
Right.
Good morning. I'm Matthews, Highway Patrol.
I'm Henry Beckerly, and this is Sam and Ellie Wood.
How do you do?
Have some breakfast?
No, thanks. We're looking for a man who killed a pharmacist over in Smithsville. We think he's in this area.
Did you hear that, Ellie? A killer here in Littleton.
Well, I declare. What makes you think he's in these parts, Mr. Matthews?
Yeah, isn't anything around Littleton that would interest him?
Well, we've been tracking him for quite a while. We lost him somewhere around here.
What's his name?
His name is Desmond. He's tall, good-looking fellow, about 35. You wouldn't take him for a killer at all.
I saw a man this morning, Sam, as we came from the farm. No, that was the elderly boy. He's always traipsing over someplace and not coming back till the next day.
Sure, that was the elderly boy, Ellie. I saw him myself. You know that my wife has seen that boy every day for the past 20 years and still don't recognize him. And you know what? When she sees her daughter's children today, she won't recognize them. But if we see that killer, Mr. Matthews will sure let you know.
Thanks very much. We'd appreciate it. Now, all of you go about your business as usual. But please, be careful. Thanks again.
Thank you, sir.
Hi there.
Hi.
That patrol fellow stopped in here too, huh?
Oh, yeah.
I just got a ride this far from down south. First thing I know, when I get out of the car, why, this patrol fellow comes up and starts asking me and the driver some questions about a killer that's on the loose. Anybody seen him?
No. He killed a man in Smittersville, but that's quite some distance away from here. He could have taken off in the other direction.
Maybe so. I guess it's a pretty tough job tracking down these criminals.
You take that young fellow Matthews in here a while ago. Not the least bit excited, just as calm as anything. And the way he acted, they're not worried at all. They know they're going to get him.
I hope so.
Where are you from, young man?
Southern part of the state, ma'am. On our way up to the city to get a job. You folks live around here?
Yep, over 30 years.
Better stay around a little longer. You may have some fireworks here in Littleton.
Not likely, Henry.
They have enough fireworks for the 3 grandchildren we have.
I guess you're having that.
My, Ellie, we gotta go. Henry, how much do we owe you?
Oh, that'll be for 96 cents.
You wouldn't know of anybody that's heading up toward the city this morning, would you?
We're going as far as River Bend. We'll give you a lift that far if you like.
Oh, that'd be swell.
Sure, young man. You just finish your breakfast, so we'll wait for you outside.
Sooner I get up to the city and get a job, the happier I'll be. There you are. Thanks.
Find anything?
No, sir. I checked with everybody I saw clear up to the cutoff. Not a sign of him. McWilliams or Fleming uncover anything?
No, not a thing. But they got a lot of territory to cover. Get in your car, patrol the whole area. Keep in contact with us. He and I will help out McWilliams and Fleming. This hour of the day, the farmers ought to be out in the field and busy. So it'll give Desmond a chance to hold up in one of their houses, and I don't want that to happen. Go on, take off. Somebody should have spotted Desmond by now. It's been about an hour since we've been to town. Let's check it again.
It's something nice to know that it's just between you and the soil. Oh, and even in the hard times, we've had our ups and downs. But the good Lord has been mighty good to us, wouldn't you say, Ellie?
Yes, Sam, but Mr. Williams might not be cut out to do farming.
Isn't that the road to Medford intersecting up ahead there?
Yes, it is.
Well, maybe I'll take your advice, Mr. Brown. You see, the only farmer in our family is my uncle, and he lives up here in Medford. You know, while I'm in the area, I think I'll go in and talk to him. You people seem very happy. You make a farm and a good woman sound mighty fine.
Well, you won't be sorry, my good fellow. Yes, sir, and don't you worry, if you decide to farm, that good woman will come along soon enough.
Well, it certainly has been wonderful meeting both of you. I can't begin to tell you how much I appreciate it.
Oh, think nothing of it, son, and good luck to you. And if you're through Littleton sometime, you just look us up.
You bet I will. Thanks, Mr. Brown.
Thank you.
Mrs. Brown?
You back so soon? Did you find him?
No, not yet. You sure there were no strangers around here this morning?
No, only the Browns that were here and that young fellow that you talked to outside.
What young fella?
The young fellow that you talked to in the car. He said...
Where is he now?
Why, he went with the Browns to ride to River Bend. It couldn't be that he...
What kind of a car were they driving?
Why, it was a new green half-ton truck. Sam just got it.
Where in Riverbend?
Why, they were going to visit their daughter. Mr. Matthews, I didn't...
All right. Now just simmer down and answer a few questions, will you? Did you ever see this guy before?
No, but he was a nice sort of a looking young fella, and he talked about the killer. It never dawned upon me that he could have been the killer. Ella and Sam felt the same way about it. They thought it was just a young fella passing through.
How long ago did they leave?
Well, about 20 minutes ago.
What's the address in Riverbend?
It's their daughter. The name is Eldridge.
All right, get on the phone. Tell headquarters to send another unit to the Eldridge house in Riverbend.
Mr. Matthews, I'm sorry. I should have known. You don't think you'll do any harm to Sam and Ella, do you?
Well, to tell you the truth, I don't know. Keep your fingers crossed.
Desmond had again slipped through a tight net the patrol had set for him. But knowing he would eventually be traced to the Browns, he smartly and smoothly discarded them.
You in charge here? What? I said you in charge here.
Yeah, what do you want?
Well, I saw a sign back there. It said you need day laborers.
You don't look much like a day laborer.
Well, change your clothes and I will. Oh, I'm big. My hands are strong.
All right, I need a pair of hands to help move some concrete brick. You get $12 a day and you'll work. You understand?
Good enough.
Come on. Have him fill out the papers and then get him some work clothes. This girl will take care of you. Then report to me. And get those reports typed.
Nice guy.
Would you fill this out, please? I think he can use you for 3 days, but one day with him and you'll be ready to leave.
Oh, I don't know. You've been kind enough to warn me. That'll make things a lot easier.
Funny. You don't seem at all like the ordinary day laborer type.
Well, there are those days when you've got to eat. No, you're right, though. See, I put everything I had into a little business down south. Lost all of it. Now I'm working my way back to the city. Then I'll get a fresh start.
Oh, I know what you mean. I took this job so that I could save some money. And I end up working for a man like Grundy. He's so miserable.
Here.
John Williams.
Mm-hmm.
All right, John. You'll find some work clothes in a locker in back. Here's the key.
Thanks. Well, at least with you around, there'll be some pleasantness. Say, if you can provide the car, I can provide the lunch.
All right.
Good.
But I don't understand, Mr. Matthews. He seems like such a nice, fine young fellow, and he did us no harm. Ain't that right, Ellie? Are you sure you got the right fella?
Yeah, he's the right man. Do you know why he got off at Medford Junction?
He had said he had an uncle up in Medford who farmed. He said he was going to go up there and talk to him. He said we made farming sound pretty good.
That's what he said, Mr. Matthews.
I guess we're lucky. I mean that he didn't do us any harm.
Hey, you sure are. I hope the people we're with now are just as lucky. Thanks very much. Well, let's go. $21.50 to $38.22 and $38.46.
Go ahead, 2150.
I'm proceeding to intersection. Highway 44 and Medford Road. 3822, stay on Medford Road to Medford. 3846, take opposite direction. Stay in contact. 10-4?
10-4. Okay, Williams, 1 hour for lunch.
Hi. Well, I look like a worker now, don't I?
Oh, yes.
How about our lunch?
Well, I can't leave just yet until Mr. Grundy gets back. He watches the office during lunch hour.
Oh? Good. Well, that'll give me a chance to change my clothes and freshen up a bit. Where's your car? I'll meet you there.
It's the brown convertible just in back of the office.
Good. I'll see you in a few minutes.
All right.
Did you get those reports typed up yet?
No, sir.
We'll get them typed up as soon as you get back from lunch.
Yes, Mr. Grundy. I will.
Hi. All set?
Yes. So good to get out of here, even if it's only for an hour.
I know what you mean.
Uh-oh. I left my wallet back in the locker room. Look, why don't you drive the car around? I'll only be back in a minute, all right?
All right.
Good.
What do you want, Williams?
Okay, Mr. Big Guy. Stop eating long enough to open that safe.
Just who do you think you're...
Come on, don't give me any of your lip. Open that safe before I blow a hole in your stomach as big as the one in your head. Come on, move! Hurry up! Hi. Sorry to keep you waiting. Little restaurant down the street. What do we say we eat down there?
All right.
Good.
The patrol knew only that Desmond was last seen at the Medford Road Highway 44 intersection. Matthews and Sergeant Corey began a systematic search of the vicinity for any sign of Desmond. General stores, gas stations, all buildings and people in the area were checked out.
Nothing.
That was a smart move on Desmond's part, losing the Browns before they got to their destination. But why this area? There's got to be a half a dozen crossroads between here and Littlewood.
What we know about Desmond, he doesn't do anything without a reason.
Well, we know he'll want a car and money. Seeing as it's Desmond, he'll want a companion. He killed the pharmacist for money, didn't get any. As far as we know, up to now, he hasn't even picked up a thin dime. What do you say we take a look down the highway? Maybe something caught his eye. Might catch yours. This might be it. Could give him everything he needs. Here, let me give you a hand.
If there was any cash here, it's gone now.
What happened?
Williams, he slugged me, took the cash. That gunner that got me in the jaw that killed me.
Are you all right?
I think so, got me in the neck.
Take a look around outside.
Right.
What's your name?
Grundy, I'm the foreman here.
How long ago did this happen?
About 20 minutes ago.
This guy that slugged you, you say his name was Williams?
Yeah. Took the petty cash, about $80. I only hired him this morning.
Didn't you look at his identification before you hired him?
No, I needed a pair of strong hands.
This guy, was he tall, good-looking, about 35?
Yeah, that's the guy. Wish I had my hands on him right now.
You got any idea where he went?
No. The girl that works for me. She was kind of taken up with him.
What girl?
Keefe. Susan Keefe.
Has she got a car?
Yeah, she's got a car.
What kind?
Convertible, a brown one.
Not a sign of him.
I'll make a note. Another ACB on Desmond. Have the fellas cover all points in this area. He might be traveling with a gal in a brown convertible. Describe her, will he?
Well, about 25, 26.
Oh, come on, Mr. Grundy. You've got to do better than that.
Well, brown hair, or about 5'4" or 5", kind of silly looking.
You can have a doctor take a look at that neck of yours. I'll send an officer back to get a full report, and next time, look out for who you hire. Desmond's got everything he needs. Car, money, and a girlfriend. He's probably headed back for the city. If you don't pick him up before he gets there, we'll lose him again. Come on, let's roll.
Lunch. We'll have to get started back in a few minutes.
I'll bet you're looking forward to seeing Grundy again, huh?
Let's not talk about him. Not just yet, anyway. We still have a few minutes.
You're a swell girl, Susan. I wish we'd met some other place.
Some other place? Why some other place?
You said it this morning. After just one day with Grundy, I've had enough. I can't go back there, Susan. It isn't worth $12 a day to put up with that man. No, I'd be better off in the city, taking my chances until I get back on my feet again.
But you need the money, John.
$12? Sure. It'd take care of me for a couple of days, but I'd rather starve than put up with Grundy. The only trouble is, well, you've been awfully nice to me, Susan. Well, I don't even like the idea of your working for him. You know, you'd be better off in the city, too. But you're an intelligent girl, Susan. Why, you wouldn't have any trouble at all getting a job. And with nice people. Why don't you come with me, Susan? Come on, I have friends. Won't you come with me?
Oh, I'd like to, John. But I can't just leave my job without giving some kind of a notice or something.
That might be it.
Hey, you, mister. Get over here, come on. Fast. Take that apron off. Come on, move, I said. Now get this and get it straight because your lives depend on it.
What's all this about?
Shut up. Now listen, in just a few minutes there's going to be a cop coming in here. He's going to ask you some questions. And when he does, you better give him the right answers. Now her name is Susan Keefe and she works for the concrete brick company. So do you, mister. You're a day laborer and the two of you just come out for lunch. Now, if he asks you anything about a John Williams, all you know is that he works at the company with you, but you haven't seen him since lunch. Now sit down and shut up. This gun's going to be on you all the time, and I hope you two are good actors.
This is it, all right. Registered as Susan Keefe.
We can't be sure the gal's with him. I'll go in the front way. You go in the back. Keep me covered. All right, you in the booth. Stand up. Hands behind your head. Come on. You Susan Keefe?
Yes, I am. What's the trouble?
What's your name?
Smith. Charles Smith. What's the matter?
You work at the brick company, too?
Yeah, I'm a day laborer.
How long you been there?
About 3 weeks.
You know a man by the name of John Williams?
Yes, he works there, too. He's a day laborer. He just started this morning.
All right, you can put your hands down. When's the last time you saw him?
Just before we came to lunch.
You haven't seen him since? All right, thanks very much. You can sit down now. All right, Johnson, take it. Send for the ambulance.
How'd you know which one?
Well, they were too nervous. He said he was a laborer. Look at his face. He's as pale as a ghost.
I don't understand.
Well, he was wanted for murder.
Murder? Oh, but he was...
Yeah, sure, I know. He seemed like such a nice guy. Next week's Highway Patrol story is a very unusual one. I hope you'll be with us. Until then, remember, it isn't the car that kills, it's the driver. This is Broderick Crawford saying, see you next week.
Whenever the laws of any state are broken, a duly authorized organization swings into action. It may be called the state police, state troopers, militia, the rangers, or the highway patrol. These are the stories of the men whose training, skill, and courage have enforced and preserved our state laws. Cooperation on the part of law enforcement agencies everywhere plays a vital part in detection of crime and apprehension of the criminal. During May, an outbreak of crime near the Mexican border emphasized the importance of such cooperation.
All right, lady, get out of that car and start moving down the hill.
Same MO again. Man standing in the road with a stop sign, waving a red flag.
And the woman stopped her car, and that's it?
Yeah, that was it. And that makes 5 in the last 2 weeks.
Did you get a description?
Well, no, it was pretty general, like most of the others. She was too scared to be much help.
Well, I can understand that when you got a gun pointed at you.
I put out an APB in her car. Do you want to talk to the woman?
No, I got another idea. How far is it to the border?
About 3 miles.
Why don't you stay with this case? I'm going into Mexico and talk to Captain Gonzalez.
Hi there. Get out of the car. Well, what's wrong? Get out of the car.
Hal, please do as he says.
And you go with him. Okay, mister, what's next? Take a walk. Start walking in that direction and don't bother to look back. You might get yourself shot for your trouble.
Hal, come on. Don't do anything foolish, darling. Come on, let's go. Come on.
Buenos dias, Dan.
Hello, how are you?
Let's sit down.
Sure.
Nice to see you in Mexico, even if it's on official business.
Well, I might as well get down to cases. We've run into an epidemic of stolen cars right close to your border.
I know. I posted a list of your stolen cars at all our checkpoints.
The MO is always the same. The fellow's got a road worker stop sign and a red flag. When the victim stops, he pulls a gun on him, and that's it.
I see.
You know, we haven't even got a good description of this guy.
Have any of the cars been recovered?
No, they seem to drop out of sight completely, so, well, there's only one explanation.
Do you think that the thieves have found a way of getting the cars into Mexico?
Yeah, that's about it. That's why I wanted you to meet me here, so we could see what happened. Also, we can't be seen.
We'll be happy to help you, Dan. My entire highway patrol is at your service.
Thanks a lot, Julio. We'll be in touch with you.
In the meantime, I'll contact the men in Mexico City.
Yeah, that's the logical place, all right. Small cars are in demand down there.
We'll check around.
Good. Thanks a lot.
You bet.
It all happened so fast. We weren't sure just what the man looked like.
Well, I try to think. Did he have light hair or dark hair?
I don't know. It made me pretty mad, and I might have tried to jump him if it hadn't been for Nora.
Oh, Mrs. Franks was right. If you try to jump a man with a gun pointed at you, it'd be a big mistake. Excuse me a minute. 3016 to 2150.
2150, bye.
Hold up and stolen car on Highway 26. Victim's now at the Price Place junction of Granada Way.
I'll be there right away. 10-4?
10-4. I got out an APB on the stolen car.
Did you get a good description of the suspect?
No, not good. They can't quite agree on it.
Let's see if we can pin it down.
Mr. and Mrs. Franks, this is Mr. Matthews, the Highway Patrol.
How do you do?
Mr. Matthews?
Mr. and Mrs. Franks, this is the second car that's been stolen in this area today.
Now, it could be the same man. It could be two different people.
Or an organized gang of car thieves.
No, it was just one man that robbed us.
Well, we need a good description of that man.
Well, as I said, I was pretty mad.
That's not going to identify him. Now think. What did he look like?
He wasn't as tall as I am, I know that. But I can't be sure about his face or the color of his hair. All I could see was that gun pointed straight at us.
How about you?
Well, I've been trying to picture his face again, just as it looked on the road. I think Hal is right. He was smaller than he is.
Well, was he wearing a hat?
Yes, he was.
Oh, what kind?
Well, it was a soft blue cap. That's why I couldn't tell what color his hair was.
How about his clothes?
Well, he had a brown leather jacket, a blue shirt, and brown pants.
Anything else? Any scars? Did he have a mustache?
No, he didn't have a mustache.
If you saw this man again, would you know him?
Yes, I'd know him. I'm sure of it. I'd remember the way he looked at Hal. I thought he was going to shoot him.
Let's talk about the car. Any holes in the upholstery?
I don't think so.
Anything spilled on the floor that might mark it?
Oh, no, we've been very careful.
Is there anything special about the car that would help us identify it?
Well, I gave him the color and the year and make and the license number.
I would suppose that in a couple of hours your car's painted a different color. It's got new plates, new registration. How would you know it if you saw it again?
Well, there's a dent in the rear fender.
Well, that could be straightened out.
Oh, and I guess I don't know. Wait a minute. I do know how I could identify the car.
How?
Our youngster used to play with a cigarette lighter. We were afraid he'd burn himself, so I disconnected the cigarette lighter and taped the ends.
Well, that gives us something to go on. We'll try and get your car back for you. Thanks very much. Come on.
You folks wait here. There'll be a man after my car. He'll drive you into town.
Hey, it looks like a really nice, clean job.
You said it. The motor is smooth as silk. Top price for this one.
Yeah, looks good. Any problems?
No, man and wife. Where's the other one?
Oh, we've got it out already.
Good.
Curtis is on the phone. He's standing by in Guadalupe. What do you want me to tell him?
Now, let me see. It'll take about 4 hours to get this baby dressed for traveling, which should bring you to Guadalupe about 3:30. Tell him this one's Class A.
Okay.
And that means you've no time to loaf. This one's perfect except for the paint job, so get out your spray gun and go to work.
The 2 automobile thefts in one day gave Dan Matthews an opportunity to put his theory to a test. With the cooperation of the Mexican Highway Patrol, it might be possible to discover whether or not there was an outlet across the border for these stolen cars.
How are we doing? We have set up roadblocks at these points. Here, here, and here. And in some cases, double roadblocks.
Good.
There's nothing anyone can do with a stolen car in this section. They have to go south to find a market.
Yeah, that's right.
All this, of course, is based on the possibility that the thieves are bringing the cars into Mexico to sell. Which, under ordinary circumstances, is not as easy as it sounds.
Yeah, I know that. Look, the holdup occurred right here, but this time I think we got a little luck.
Past report?
Yeah, the victims were picked up by a passing motorist. They flagged a highway patrol car 5 minutes after the robbery.
Highway 26, that's somewhat of an isolated area.
And in 10 minutes, we had that whole area completely sealed off.
If they didn't hide the car in a haystack, there's only one place to take it. That's across the border.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Look, by the time they've changed the serial number, repainted it, and sold it to somebody in Mexico, we're going to have a tough time finding it. There is a little hope, though.
What?
The cigarette lighter behind the dash has been disconnected and taped. Boy, we're scraping the bottom of the barrel on this one.
I'll have my men advise of that. In the meantime, there's nothing we can do here. Shall we check roadblocks?
Can we use your undercover car?
All right.
Let's go.
I tell you, it's a waste of time changing those tires. And it cuts down the profits, too.
And it cuts down on the possibility of all of us winding up in the clink.
I think you worry too much.
The paint dry?
Sure.
I'll put the new registration certificate in the holder. And I've got a Mexican entry permit to match.
I still say you worry too much.
What goes?
Dave thinks it's a waste of time and money to change tires and have permits printed.
Oh, well, that's one of the troubles with Dave. He can only see as far as the end of his nose.
Look, you...
You look. Suppose Joe, owner of this car, drove it through some nice soft ground near his house, and the cops pick up the tire prints.
And suppose they check those prints against the tires on this car.
Not a chance.
There's always a chance. Besides, you don't risk meeting a roadblock in one of these cars, Davy boy. I do.
What are you giving me? The only place they check these cars is at border checkpoints. And you're already in Mexico.
So what?
So what? You haven't hit a roadblock in Mexico since we've been working this deal.
There's always the first time. That's why we have to catch every possible identification point and wipe it out. We can't afford to overlook a single bet.
Well, any luck?
The boys found a cigarette lighter out of order, all right, but it turned out to be one of those foreign cars.
Well, they might be able to change the color of the car, but I'm sure they can't change the size of it.
Outside of that, everything seems to be pretty well covered. Let's check other blocks, huh?
Okay.
Well, the paint's okay.
Everything's shipshape. I don't think we've missed a single bet. Well, it's all yours. Watch your step.
Don't worry, I'll see you later.
Let's get to work on the one in the barn. I want it ready by the time Yvonne gets back.
Oh, can't we wait until tomorrow? I'm bushed.
I can't afford to keep a stolen car a minute longer than I have to.
Okay, let's get to work.
Hello.
Good afternoon. I'm sorry to inconvenience you like this, but we have to examine every car that passes this way today.
Sounds exciting. Has there been a robbery?
Something along that line. Would you mind stepping out of the car for a moment?
Oh, no, not at all. Thank you.
May I see your driver's license and entry permit?
Yes, of course.
Check the cigarette lighter.
Mrs. Yvonne Hooper, San Francisco.
That's right.
Do you own the car, Mrs. Hooper?
No, my husband does. But I own my husband, so I guess I own the car.
What is your destination in Mexico?
Mexico City. It's a wonderful place.
It is indeed. Staying very long?
Well, it depends on how much time off my husband can get. He's meeting me next week.
Thank you, Miss Hooper. I hope you enjoy your visit in Mexico.
This could be it. The tape lighter. The car checks out.
I don't believe we have to detain you any longer. Everything all right?
Yeah, everything's all right now.
You may go now, Mrs. Hooper. Thank you so much, and I'm sorry we detained you.
It's quite all right.
You found something?
A disconnected lighter with taped ends.
Could it be a coincidence?
Well, we gotta be sure. She had an entry permit, didn't she?
Yes, it indicated she went through the border about 2 hours ago.
We should call the border, see if it's legitimate. In the meantime, let's see what she does with the car and where she goes. I'll bet she doesn't take the same road and go through the same roadblock.
No, but it'll be easy to keep track of her now. I'll put a tail on this stolen car till we find out who gets her and who sells it.
Okay.
I'm going to have them discontinue the roadblocks and follow close behind. Habla Capitán González. Descontinúen el bloqueo. Sí, y síganos de cerca. Esperen órdenes. I wonder where she's going. We're only a few miles from the border.
Looks like we found their hideout.
Capitán González, a carros de patrulla número 1 y número 2. Estacionen sus automóviles cerca del mío y luego prosigan hacia el bosque.
Well, this one's dead.
I'll get the coroner an ambulance. Tú quédate aquí.
Thanks for your help, Julio.
It was a pleasure.
You know, I wish you'd have stolen my car. It needs a new paint job. See Highway Patrol again next week. Until then, remember, reckless driving doesn't determine who's right, only who's left. This is Roderick Crawford saying, see you next week.
Whenever the laws of any state are broken, a duly authorized organization swings into action. It may be called the state police, state troopers, militia, the rangers, or the highway patrol. These are the stories of the men whose training, skill, and courage have enforced and preserved our state laws. Enforcement agencies, protection of life is their most important job. Of all crimes, the crime of murder is the most shocking and most ruthless. During February of last year, 2 men arrived by train in Lafayette, a small town of just under 5,000 people. The purpose of their visit, murder.
Just 1 hour. Next train leaves at 3 o'clock.
Hello. Pete. Well, when did you get in town? Well, where are you? What are you doing here?
I thought I'd surprise you. I'm down at the railroad depot. Tell me where your house is, and I'll come right out.
Well, how did you find me?
I remembered that you and Mary took a trip 4 years ago. You like this town?
Oh, yeah, sure. Well, Pete, you stay there. I'll pick you up. It won't take 5 minutes. Swell. I'll be seeing you.
Fine.
What's he doing here, Joe?
I don't know.
Did the syndicate send him?
I don't know. Haven't even had a letter from him, and now...
Why?
Well, it could be friendly.
You know better.
But sure, my brother paying me a social visit.
He's still with them. He's still a gangster.
Well, that's what I was. I quit Mary. I walked out.
We both knew they'd be sending someone after you, sooner or later.
Mary, my own brother.
What choice does he have? He either does what he's told or he gets it himself. Oh, Joe, don't go.
Mary, if I don't go, he'll come here.
Please, Joe.
How long will it take him to get here?
No, he said it'd be less than 5 minutes.
Remember, it's only 1 hour till train time.
Yeah.
And remember what we pay you for, Pete. To take care of people like Joe Kern. People who think they can walk out anytime they want.
Look, why don't we give him a chance? It's been a year and he hasn't talked. Why don't we leave him alone?
He knows too much. Now get outside. Meet him at the car. And do your job right. We've got to be out of here before they find the body. I'll be waiting out of sight. It's best that he doesn't see me.
Highway Patrol.
Just a moment, please, ma'am. I think you'd better take this, Mr. Matthews. It's a woman. She says there's going to be a murder.
Miss Matthews, what's this about a murder?
I'm Mrs. Mary Curran at 238 Oak Street, Lafayette. My husband asked me to wait half an hour before calling you, but I can't wait that long. I think he's going to be murdered by his own brother.
Good to see you again, Joe.
Look a little thinner.
Well, it's been rough the last couple of years. Maybe you were smart to get out when you did. How's Mary?
She's fine.
Well, good. Come on, let's hop in the car and go to your house.
I want to talk to you here.
Why? What's the matter?
Come on over here and I'll tell you.
What's bothering you?
What do you think's bothering me? You. What are you doing here?
And do I have to have an excuse to see my brother?
Yeah, you have to have an excuse. And I got a pretty good idea what it is.
Oh, Joe, you're out of your mind. The syndicate's forgotten all about you. You don't matter. You're not important anymore.
You knew what I was talking about, didn't you, Pete? I know why you're here. It sticks out all over you. You're here to kill me. The syndicate wants to rub me out, and you're the guy that they've chosen.
You know how it is, Joe. The syndicate gives you a job, you got to do it.
Yeah. Or they get you and your wife, and maybe your kids.
That's it. You do what you're told.
Not today, Pete. I don't die today. They're gonna have to try it again.
Joe, don't go. I gotta talk to you. Let's get out of here until train time.
Relax. Walk. Cops. How are the cops here already? How did you louse this up?
I don't know. Let's get out of here.
$21.50 to headquarters.
Headquarters by.
Flight 1020 is Lafayette Depot. Curran's been stabbed. Send an ambulance. Get me a fast mate on Pete Curran. And I want Lafayette closed up tight. You know, we got one break. The knife that Pete Curran used is still in Joe's back. You know, maybe killing his brother might have shook him up a little bit. 10-4?
10-4.
What went wrong? Tell me quick so I'll know what to cover.
He knew. He knew I was here. He got mad.
Did you kill him? The cops. How did the cops get there?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe he tipped him off. Maybe he knew when I phoned.
That could be. He could have phoned before he went to the station.
My knife. I left my knife.
You really blew it, didn't you? You handled the whole thing like an amateur.
Look, you gotta help me get the knife back. It's got my prints all over it. They'll get me, sure.
Sure, they'll get you. The main problem is keep me out of it. Come on.
You take over here. $21.50 to headquarters.
Headquarters by.
2370's taken over. I'm going over and talk to Mrs. Curran.
We have a make on Pete Curran. He has a long record. Present occupation, suspected as syndicate killer. No evidence of a booking.
What about the M.O.?
He's been picked up on suspicion of murder 4 times. 3 knife jobs and 1 gun. No convictions.
Oh, this boy is long overdue. I hope we can nail him.
All the roadblock units are in position.
10-4.
Yes?
I'm Matthews, Highway Patrol.
Joe. Is Joe all right?
Well, I was too late.
Then Pete did it. Pete got him. I didn't want him to go to the station.
Mrs. Curran, you can help us. It's Pete Curran. Do you know him? Can you describe him?
Do I know him? Can I describe him? Pete got Joe into the syndicate. Joe was just a punk kid. Pete was a big shot. A big shot. Joe wanted to be like Pete.
I'll get a car. We'll drive out of here. That's the trouble with you, Pete. You don't think. Those cops back at the depot. They'll have roadblocks on every road out of here.
You gotta help me. You gotta help me get out of here.
If you leave here, you'll get caught. We aren't going to like that.
I was just doing a job for you. You've gotta help me. You've gotta give me a break.
If you get caught, you might talk. We can't afford to let you get caught. You know what to do, Pete. You do it. If you try to run, if you try to get out, we'll pay you.
You're backing me into a corner. You're not giving me a choice.
You should have thought of that when you left your knife behind. Your wife and kids will get a nice bonus. Otherwise, they'll get what Joe got. Now, the sooner the cops find you, the sooner the heat's off. And just in case you're thinking of knocking me off, it won't help. The syndicate will find you the same as we found Joe.
I should never have taken the job. Man can't kill his own brother.
But you did. Let me see your gun, Pete.
In the eyes of the law, Foley, the syndicate supervisor, was the accomplice of a killer and therefore guilty of murder. But Foley now believed himself to be in the clear. The only link between him and the murderer was Joe Curran, and Joe was dead by his own hand.
Highway Patrol headquarters. Yes, ma'am. The freight warehouse right off 3rd Street, 2 blocks from the depot. Yes, ma'am. Did you see anyone? See anything? All right, thank you, ma'am. We'll get a car there immediately. Headquarters to 2370.
2370.
Go to the freight warehouse right off 3rd Street, 2 blocks from the depot immediately. Woman heard a shot, saw nothing.
Freight warehouse 2 blocks from the depot. 10-4.
Okay, you do that.
Thanks.
Suicide angle doesn't check out with the lab boys, let me know.
Right.
Didn't add up, did it?
What didn't?
Pete. He wouldn't kill himself.
You got any ideas?
What kind of ideas?
Mrs. Curran, you know the racket that Joe is in. And let's face it, Pete Curran didn't come to Lafayette by himself.
Supervisor.
That's right, he's as guilty as Pete is, and we want him.
What if I don't recognize him?
He's got one way to get out of town. By train. I'll pull my men out of the depot. The train leaves in 20 minutes.
I'll get my purse.
Okay, I'll be in the car. Yeah, that's right. I want the depot cleared. I want all units to keep the depot under observation, but I want them on foot. I'm going with Mrs. Curran. Now look, give me about 5 or 6 minutes before you pull the other units out, right?
Right. The preliminary lab report says the angle of bullet entry in Pete Curran is all wrong for suicide. His trigger finger was broken, evidently crushed against the trigger.
Somebody must have fired the gun while it was still in Pete's hand.
Looks like that. The lab says it's homicide. 10-4.
10-4.
Headquarters to 2370.
2370 by.
2150 is going to the depot with Mrs. Curran. 2360 is being pulled out. You're to head for the depot, but park 2 or 3 blocks away, then move in on foot. But keep out of sight yourselves. 10-4. Headquarters to 2360.
We'll walk from here. I don't want any patrol cars around he can see. Come on. Let's check outside. Go ahead. about that guy over there with the newspaper?
I've never seen him before. Let me walk over to make sure.
If you recognize him, make it casual.
I'm not forgetting what he is, Mr. Matthews. And I'm not forgetting what he's done.
Okay, you go ahead.
I'm Joe Curran's wife. You're the supervisor. You ordered Pete to kill him, and I'm going to kill you. We'll even the score right now.
George Foley.
What's this all about? You haven't got a thing on me.
We got plenty on you. We didn't know who you were or what you looked like until you started to run just now. We're going to take you in. Suspicion of murder. Okay, man, take him away. Sorry, Mrs. Curran, I'm going to have to take you in. That was attempted assault with a deadly weapon.
But you got it. You got the supervisor.
Oh, it happens to be our job. I wish people would learn that. I'm sorry, come on. See Highway Patrol again next week. Until then, remember, reckless driving doesn't determine who's right, only who's left. This is Roderick Crawford saying, see you next week.
Whenever the laws of any state are broken, a duly authorized organization swings into action. It may be called the state police, state troopers, militia, the rangers, or the highway patrol. These are the stories of the men whose training, skill, and courage have enforced and preserved our state laws. To law enforcement agencies, one of the most dangerous criminals is the unpredictable armed beginner. Because he is always nervous, often frightened, his comparatively minor crimes frequently explode into crimes of major violence. Such an explosion occurred 6 weeks ago when Joe Tully, with his wife Gloria, attempted what appeared to be a simple holdup of a service station.
Come on, let's get out of here.
Highway Patrol, Sergeant Williams. Oh, where, Mr. Larkin? I see. And when was that?
Now, just now. A young guy wearing a brown suit. He had a girl with him. They got away in a blue four-door sedan.
Did you get the license number? All right, Mr. Larkin, if you'll wait there, an officer will be right out. Thank you.
What's going on?
The owner of a filling station 2 miles out of Woodhaven was just shot.
Robbery?
Yeah, a man and a woman. Here's the descriptions.
How's it stand now?
Well, the station's right here. I'm ordering roadblocks here, here, and here.
Oh, we'll plug the gaps on the way out. Get out and APB. We'll be in touch with you.
All this for what? For peanuts.
Why'd you have to shoot him, Joe?
I had to. I told you it was either him or me.
What if he's dead?
Will you stop it? The worst part about it is that I was seen. The guy that I bumped into got a real good look at me. And at the car.
What are we gonna do?
I don't know. I gotta think.
I knew him pretty well, Mr. Matthews. He'd never let anybody push him around.
Yeah, no, the morgue's full of that type. You say a girl was driving?
I just got a glimpse. She looked about, 22, blonde hair and a yellow sweater.
You think you know for sure what you saw in the car?
Oh, absolutely. That gunman looked right at me when he bumped into me.
Did you get any part of the license number?
No, sir.
Let's go over the car again. You're sure it was a blue sedan? Is there anything else you can remember?
Well, yeah. They had a little cup, little gold cup, like you win in a golf tournament, hanging on the rear view mirror. It was about so big.
Oh, yeah, I know the kinds you mean. All right, thanks, Mr. Larkin. We'll be in touch with you.
Yes, sir.
Find anything?
Nothing. No footprints or tire prints back there.
All right, Ken, let's go. I want to get the newspapers on the air right away.
Okay, stand by for the corner. Call when he gets here.
All right.
Thought I heard a siren. We were lucky to get back here, you know.
That's why I have big places close to town, like the gas station. It's not gonna help much this time.
You don't think they're gonna come here?
They're gonna be looking for the car. It's the only way they can identify us. They're not gonna quit. If they don't find it in the streets, they're gonna search this whole area, house by house. And that lousy garage door won't even close.
Joe, they don't know my car. Let's get out of here.
Be hunted for the rest of our lives. All they have to do is find the car, and then they'll find us. How far are we gonna get on $100? Only chance is to get rid of the car, then we're in the clear.
What if they got the license number?
If they had, they would have been here before now. Think straight, huh? Frank. How about Frank?
Oh, he wouldn't help us, Joe. He's too honest anyway. Can we burn the car? Can we soak it in gas and burn it?
No. For the same reason we can't sell it or paint it or dump it in a lake someplace. If one person saw the car and got suspicious, they'd trace us down by the serial numbers.
But you said that a welder could lift those numbers right off.
Off the motor, off the motor. There's others hidden inside that only the cops in the factory know about.
But look, if it works for the stolen car, why won't it work here?
Oh, yeah, this is no handy car heist. If that guy dies, we both end up in the death house. Frank. I keep coming back to Frank. With that big precipice, it'd be so simple. Once that thing gets through with the car, there'd be nothing left to trace.
Is there any chance that he'd help us, Joe?
He's my own brother. But... well, at least he won't turn us into the cops for asking.
Try it, Joe. Call him.
No. No, I could talk him into it a lot better face to face. Change clothes. I'll run down to Colby and I'll see him. Take your car.
But if he says okay, how are you going to get your car past the roadblocks?
You'll have to bring it.
Me? Alone?
Now, wait. Here's how we'll work it. Now, we both got street maps in the cars. On the way down, I'll walk every roadblock and every back road that's clear. Then I'll call you.
And I mark it on mine.
Right. It'll be a cinch. You know exactly where you're going before you leave. Okay. It's going to be risky. But we got no choice. Get the street maps? Okay.
Call 4018. Tell him to go to Evansville Junction. Let me know when he's in position.
I've got the descriptions in the newscast. Somebody will spot him.
These characters are smart. They figure the car's our only lead. Well, if we find it, we can identify him. If we don't, we're in the soup.
You know, they may figure we didn't get that license number.
That gives them plenty of time. They can stall. They can alter the car, get a paint job.
Well, we're covering all the body and paint shops. The only two lakes they can dump in are both reservoirs, and they're being watched.
And the used car lots and the wrecking yards, they're being watched, too. What's that leave us?
Not much. You know, I still think if I were in their spot, I'd try a quick paint job. That's the easy way.
I don't know. They're hot. Paint job would cost a lot of money.
Well, the guy could rent a spray gun and try to do the job himself.
That could be. Let's check it.
See your identification, please. Okay.
Where's the next one?
About a mile down the road.
you doing here? You're liable to get your hands dirty.
That's a heck of a way to talk to your own kid brother after 2 long years.
What do you want, Joe?
Advice. Shall we go inside? Hey, the press is really great, Frank. How long does it take you to give a car the full treatment?
2 or 3 minutes to run through the press. What do you want to talk about, Joe?
How long does it take you to strip it down? You know, before you stick it in the press?
2 or 3 hours.
Hey, $50 says that you can't do it anywhere near that time, Frank.
Play games with your flashy friends, Joe. What do you want to talk about?
Wait a minute, Frank. Now, look, I'm serious. About getting into the car, I mean.
What car?
Just a car. It's mine.
What color is it?
Well, what difference does that make, Frank?
Answer me. Is it a blue 4-door?
How'd you find out?
The cops were here. Look for a blue 4-door, they said. It belongs to a guy who held up a filling station and shot the owner. That was you, Joe.
I didn't mean to do it, Frank. Honest, I didn't.
You've been saying that all your life, Joey.
Sorry. Don't lecture me, Frank, please. Learn my lesson, believe me. Frankie, please help me. Just one more time.
The cops don't find that car, they'll come back.
Not for a while, Frank. And by that time, there's not going to be anything left.
He's taking an awful chance.
Frankie, nobody's ever going to know. Please, Frank, if that guy dies, they're going to kill me.
It's already dead.
While Dan Matthews and men of the Highway Patrol combed the blocked-off area for any sign of the car that would identify the killer, Joe Tully already was successfully implementing his plan for the car's complete obliteration.
Hello? Joe?
It's okay, Gloria. Frank says he'll do it. Now look, first roadblock is on the boulevard. It's between Walcott and Bayside. Get on Clooney Road, and you got it made. There's no roadblocks there. Now go as fast as you can.
Yeah.
Well, if that blue sedan's in this area, it's liable to stay the same color anyway.
Let's see here. Yeah, we've got roadblocks on all the roads and highways leading out of town. I got a feeling they're still around in here someplace.
Well, they won't try to sit tight.
Won't hurt to squeeze them a little bit. Let's start closing in the roadblocks.
How about this south side? That's a hash of back trails.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, let's go over to Clooney Road. 2150 to headquarters.
As the Highway Patrol continued its relentless search, Gloria Tully was at the moment carefully working her way through the maze of roadblocks in her desperate effort to reach her husband, Joe.
How's it going?
Nothing so far. How's Clooney Road?
It's open. Get over there right away.
Yes, sir.
Come on, Ken. Let's get back.
Where is she? The longer we wait, the riskier this gets.
She'll be here, Frank. Cops have got roadblocks up. Look, she's just being careful.
What happens if she gets stopped?
She won't be.
Yeah? Listen, I'd gamble everything I got on you, Joey. I don't like having to depend on Gloria this way.
Frank, she's here. What took you so long?
I had an awful time, Joe.
You weren't followed, were you?
No.
Come on, Joe, come on. Let's get this out of sight. Back there where we can work on it.
Give me those reports you're not working on. Thanks. Ken, how many units checking these?
3, but more calls are coming in as more people get the news.
You get that, will you?
Highway Patrol, Sergeant Williams. Oh, yes, ma'am? When was that? Oh, I see. Thanks very much. This looks like the one, but there's a big hitch. She spotted the car almost an hour ago. Just about hit her when she crossed the street.
What was she waiting for, rain?
No, she just heard a newscast. Lives over on Maple Avenue.
Maple Avenue. Yeah, that's on the south side.
Everything seems to tally except the color of the coat the girl was wearing.
That figures. Well, she must have taken a back road in there someplace.
That must have been about the time we were there.
Let's take it from the top. Suppose she got by us.
Well, she'd have to come out, well, either here or over here. That'd mean the roadblocks either Evansville or Paxton would catch her.
Yeah, that's a little more than 50 miles. She'd have hit one of them by now. What's in between there?
Well, not much with farmland. There's some heavy industry at Colby, and there's some auto wreckers along that highway.
Yeah, the big wreckers, too. If they ever get that car into a press, we'll never find it.
Yeah, we've warned all those auto wreckers. You think they'd take a chance?
Well, money talks. Let's check those yards again. Here, have Dennis meet us.
Why's Gloria still here?
Waiting for me?
Get her out of here. We got enough trouble on our hands.
Are you finished?
Not quite. Frank's got a bad case of the jitters.
Well, look, so have I.
Okay, but Frank is nervous because of you being here. Look, why don't you hop in your car and go someplace else for now, huh?
Oh, no, Joe, I don't want to be alone anymore. Come with me, please.
No, I'm going to stay right here until I see my car go through that press. After that, Frank could break a leg for all I care, but until then, I'm going to stay here and baby him. So get going. Going!
While two desperate people raced against the pressure of time, the Highway Patrol, anticipating the criminal's need to destroy the car, set out to once again search and comb each and every auto wrecker in the area, looking for any clue to a blue four-door sedan.
No car, no registration slip.
Yeah. Okay, Joe. Now I'm going to give you some advice.
Oh, skip it, Frank.
I took a big chance to help you because I... Cops, get out!
There's 2 or 3 blue ones around here. Let's check them. Hey, Ken, come here. Take a look at this. Hey, Mac, come here. What does this one look like before it hit the press?
How would I know? I do 100 of these a day. I can't keep track of all these old heaps. What are you looking for?
The officers that were here before told you what we're looking for. You being cute?
I don't know what you're talking about.
What's this doing here?
How would I know?
Why were you in such a particular hurry to get rid of this one?
I wasn't. Why should I be?
Trying to get it out of sight.
Don't be ridiculous.
Well, if you know and I know that 2 hours ago this was a brand new car. Who's the owner?
I don't have any idea.
Who hired you?
Nobody.
Mac, we're looking for a killer. You're in deep. Don't get in any deeper. I'm going to give you a choice. You can tell me here at headquarters. Who's the owner and where is he?
Right behind you. Don't move. Hand off the gun. Get it off! When he moves, I'll blow you in two. Those for you too, Frank. All right. Real slow now. Drop the guns. Check the wires out of the car and bust the radio. And turn our car around so we can get out of here fast. Go on! All right. Back off.
My brother. He's had that coming for years.
Where you're going, you'll have plenty of time to explain that to him. See Highway Patrol next week. Until then, remember, leave your blood at the Red Cross or your community blood bank, not on the highway. This is Roderick Crawford saying, see you next week.